You can't have none of that.
Any common opponents?
Not yet.
Okay.
I do not believe. Hold on, let me check. I guess that would have been something to check on.
All right, be ready for blast.
Okay.
I knew the way that you always lived and got to be without the afraid my friends would see the guilt in me.
Best coaches in the NAIA. You got starters? Okay. What do we got? Okay. 13. We don't have ours yet? Okay.
Are we ready, Rick?
Just checking.
Okay.
Feel free to cut me off anytime, too. I do this a lot by myself, so sometimes I end up doing color and play-by-play like at the same time, so just stop me, and if you got something to say, just go ahead.
I will, yeah. I'll be pouring through stuff here. If I find some tidbits to throw in there, we'll get it going.
You got our starters, John?
I'm going to bet Rideout's one of them, right?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
33, 31, 34, 55.
Leah, is this her first start? Yep. Awesome.
Okay. Gerda Paula Skype.
Hey, do you know the pronunciation on this one?
Palaskite.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so we've got Gerda Paulaskita. Paulaskita.
Okay. Paula.
Skyta. Paulaskita.
Okay. Got it.
So I'm going to write that too. Paulaskita.
Hankins, Cheatham, Smith, Stone. There we go. Those are the ones I like to see.
Shrewsbury.
Shrewsbury. Yeah.
All right.
It makes life a lot easier.
Yep.
Oh, this is, I bet, yeah, I was going to say, I saw they had a girl from overseas on the team.
Yep, Lithuania.
Okay. Okay. Now, when they have this, is this what they transferred, like from Lincoln Memorial to?
Yeah, that's if they transferred, or if they haven't transferred, then it's just their high school.
I got
So
you.
it's the last place they played.
Okay. Very good. Okay, we should be ready to go here.
All right. Well, as soon as I restart and get ready to roll.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me, that was probably loud in your ear.
That's all right.
What'd you say?
I couldn't hear you.
I had to get a Q-tip and clean my ear out here. Okay, let's see. So this is last year's.
Yes, this was the conference championship between these two.
Okay.
That's the box from that year.
Okay.
Our leading rebounder in that game was the All-American Janessa Moore, so she's the only one we lost.
Okay.
And she's actually coaching right there in the long sleeve.
Oh.
She was
a big girl there.
Yeah, oh, she's unreal.
Yeah.
She was a freak of nature last year.
Now you guys don't have football here, do you?
No. Nope, they're thinking about it. If we get enough donor dollars, it's all about the dollars.
Well, Portsmouth is a big football town. I
Yep,
think
yep.
you get a lot of support.
Local football is huge. High school football here is unreal, especially with Wheelersburg. Wheelersburg really dominates every sport.
Well, I know you got a couple like semi-pro teams I see online that are.
Yeah, they used to have the Spartans, the Portsmouth Spartans,
right.
I think so, and I had a couple of guys play for that, but I don't think they were ever that good.
Oh, really?
Portsmouth actually had the original Detroit Lions.
I've seen. I was down here years ago. I saw the stadium down there. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Now it's kind of dead, other than the university, but it used to be quite the town. Like it was huge back when industry was huge.
Right. Yeah, anything with the Ohio River had to be.
It was.
Had to make it a big port area.
All right, well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is CampusNation.com, the sports animal, your home for high school and college sports, and WZAA 106.9 LPFM. They're in Fayette County, Jeffersonville, Ohio. We are on the campus of Shawnee State, and we have a doubleheader tonight of men's and women's basketball. Starting off with the women tonight in about 5.5 minutes. I'm going to turn it over to our broadcast crew. We've got Bill Raybeck and Alec Morgan. They're going to handle our broadcast. I'm going over to work a camera, so guys, have a good broadcast.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rick. And indeed, it will be an interesting doubleheader tonight as two Mid-South powerhouses go head-to-head. Lindsey Wilson, currently ranked number 12 in the country, and your home team, Shawnee State Bears, ranked at number 4. Both these teams, co-Mid-South champions last season. Both teams can score, and they can score a lot. Got a lot of key players. Going to be really interesting to see some matchups today. And, of course, excited to bring this one for you. Of course, Shawnee State coming into this game at 14-3 on the season, starting conference play last week with an impressive win over Pikeville. Lindsey Wilson also beginning conference play 1-0 as they are 13-2 on the season. Ranked number 12 in the country, making a run at the national tournament, as it seems like they do every year. They are coached by John B. Weathington, who is weathered, upon their play on words, 29th season, 572 and 329 in his career. That's quite the tenure. Their last game was played against Cumberland, who is receiving votes. That was their first Mid-South Conference matchup. They took that one home by a score of 67-51. Shawnee State currently on a 9-game win streak, an impressive streak after losing back-to-back to Indiana Wesleyan and Taylor University there in mid-November at the Asbury Classic. That was a tough week for them. But since then, Shawnee State has been on a roll, and largely in thanks to a couple key players, that including the likes of Madison Rideout, Ashton Lovely. It seems like there's shooters everywhere for this team.
Well, Alec, let me say first, it's a pleasure to be here. Shawnee State, Campus Nation, we try to find the best games available and bring them to our fans, not only in Ohio but across the nation. Appreciate the invite from you and John to come out and do this game. And it looks like a great matchup. As you say, we've got two nationally ranked teams. We've got Shawnee State, number 4, Lindsey Wilson, number 12. What more could you ask for? You've got a legendary coach in John Weatherington. 529 wins puts you in anybody's Hall of Fame.
That's good company.
That's good company. And, you look at it, not knowing either team, so this is going to be a treat for me seeing both of these teams. Big, athletic girls here. I expect a high-scoring game. And, if we look at Southern State, the home team, they've got Ashton Lovely, 14.4. You've got Hannah Miller, 15 points a game. You've got, of course, Madison Rideout, the All-American, 15.4 game. You've got Bailey Cummings, 14.1 a game, and then Lydia Poe at 10.4. Nice balance, and that's going to be the problem for Lindsey Wilson tonight. If you shut down one, how do you shut down the other ones?
And then you kind of hinted at what I was going to say next, Bill, and that's Lindsey Wilson College is heavily reliant on two scorers, that being Kayla Stiles and Reagan Turner. Those are the only two on their roster in double digits, whereas Shawnee State's got 5 scores in double digits. And when you're taking a look, this is definitely going to be a high-scoring game. As you alluded to, we've got a lot of conference leaders in all the stat categories. Madison Rideout for Shawnee State is currently sitting at 4th in the Mid-South at 15.5 points a game. Rideout also up in the ranks, top 5 in rebounds as well. Rideout field goal percentage, 2nd in the Mid-South. Madison Rideout, of course, the defensive player of the year last year for the conference. And the leader in the Mid-South, Hannah Miller for Shawnee State, shooting 88% from the charity stripe, taking advantage there. But then on the other hand, you've got Kayla Stiles for Lindsey Wilson, scoring almost 20 points a game, coming in at 2nd in the Mid-South. Also 2nd in the Mid-South in rebounds with 10 a game. So she's averaging a double-double, which is unreal at this level. Right. And Reagan Turner, 4th in the Mid-South with assist, 3-point field goal percentage. Heidi Huffman for Lindsey Wilson. And I failed to mention Bailey Cummins, 1st in the Mid-South in 3-point shooting percentage, shooting almost 50%.
That's a nice weapon to have.
It is.
Alec, when we look at this, and not knowing either of these teams, of course, you do the Shawnee State games, what do we expect to see defensively from Shawnee State? Is it going to be a pressure, trapping? Why don't you set that up for us as what we would expect to see defensively out of the Bears?
Well, most of the time it's going to be a straight-up man-to-man defense, and that's if a team can't beat them. If they start pushing the pace and the other team is controlling the tempo, we'll move to a 2-3 zone where we're pressuring from half court all the way up to the basket. Now, if we're getting to the winding minutes at the second half and we're down or we're only up by 2, you might see a full pressure system, but this team's a really straight-up defense, a lot of man-to-man because they like to push the floor. Most teams can't run with this team.
Right.
So if Lindsey Wilson comes out and they have the rotation and the inability to fatigue really running with this team up and down the court. That's going to be the key for them. Lindsey Wilson, they've got to be fast and they've got to be efficient. Going up against this Shawnee State team who is efficient in scoring, very fast. And it will be interesting to watch. Lindsey Wilson is definitely not to be underestimated, though. As you said, 12 in the country, second in the Mid-South, a national tournament contender every year. They like to run a zone look. They like to shoot a lot of threes. And it will be interesting to see how these two match up.
Okay, we're going to get a quick station ID for about 10 seconds, and we'll be right back.
106.9 WZAA LP, Jeffersonville.
Okay, we're back to Shawnee State with my partner, Alec Morgan. I'm Bill the Razor Rayback, of course. And we are here at Campus Nation to bring you the Shawnee State and the Lindsey Wilson game. And I believe we've got the national anthem here.
Yep, we will step aside for just a moment. And so after the playing of the national anthem, these two teams just minutes away from tipping off. We'll go ahead and get you some starting lineups. First for the visiting Blue Raiders of Lindsey Wilson College. 0-0, Tiana Curry, the junior guard at 5'5" from Louisville, Kentucky, by way of DuPont Manuel High School. With her will be number 2, Reagan Turner, the freshman guard, 5'7", from Gamaliel, Kentucky, by way of Monroe County High School. And number 10, the power player, Kayla Stiles, the senior forward, lone senior on this team, 6'2", from Louisville, Kentucky, a transfer from Spalding University. Rounding out the starting 5 for them will be Gerda Poliskaita, the junior center, 6'3", from Telesai, Lithuania, by way of Lincoln Memorial High School. And as he said before, Lindsey Wilson College is coached by John B. Wethington in his 29th season. Now for your home team, Shawnee State Bears. They are coached, of course, by Jeff Nickel in his 5th season. 4 national tournaments appearances already, 3 straight conference championships. They are led by number 3, Ashton Lovely, the junior guard from Jamestown, Ohio, by way of Greenview High School. She is with number 23, Hannah Miller, the junior guard from Coal Grove, Ohio, by way of Ironton St. Joseph. Number 31, the reigning defensive player of the year in the Mid-South, Madison Rideout, the lone senior in this lineup, 5'9", from Jackson, Ohio, by way of Kent State University. Number 34, Bailey Cummins, the leading three-point shooting guard in the Mid-South Conference. The sophomore, of course, 5'8", from Brooksville, Kentucky, by way of Bracken County High School. And getting her first start, true freshman, Leah Wingeier at 6'5", the forward from Newark, Ohio, by way of Newark High School.
And, you know, Alec, when we look at it here, these two teams, we'd expect a lot of intensity. They met last year for the championship, and as you said, they're striving to get another national appearance here for the NAIA tournament. And what a better setting. A big crowd here tonight. And is school got back in here? Have they just come back?
Yep, definitely. We started on Monday.
Okay, so the students are raring to go to watch the Bears, see if they can add to their record and their rankings.
And give you some statistics, Shawnee State outscoring their opponent on average of 31 points a game. They are scoring almost 84 points a game. Lindsey Wilson scoring 70 points a game, outscoring their opponents by 16. Shawnee State has the edge in field goal percentage. They get a lot of good looks at 48%, while the Blue Raiders of Lindsey Wilson College shoot 39% on the season. Both teams, they're going to score a lot. It's going to be a fast-paced game, a lot of high-octane offense with Kayla Stiles for the Blue Raiders looking at most of the offense running through her. It will be interesting to see the matchup between her, Madison Rideout, and Bailey Cummins. And we will see how this one shapes out as the teams are minutes away.
They are.
They're just seconds now away from tipping off.
And if, the teams look about equal size-wise. Both have a big girl. And
Yep, Leah Wingeier, kind of our post player. She's a true freshman this year, trying to replace the size that Janessa Moore gave, losing to senior Janessa Moore as the tip is won by the Blue Raiders. But Janessa Moore, an All-American last year for Shawnee State, a post player. She is replaced by a couple new freshman recruits here as Lindsey Wilson will get the first bucket on the game by way of a score from Tiana Curry, the junior from Louisville.
And they're going to take the ball to Wingeier, I think, to see what she can do right off the bat. As you said, this is a starting opportunity for her.
So this is right out at the top of the key. Ashton Lovely on the left wing now. Ashton Lovely driving, spins, stops, and shoots from mid-range. That one is no good, just rolls out of the basket. Rebounded by Gerda Poliskaida. This is Reagan Turner now for the Blue Raiders. Over to Tiana Curry. Curry driving, turns around, looking for an outlet pass.
Curry gets
finds
Poliskaida.
Yep, out on the elbow, drives, misses the shot, rebounded by Hannah Miller. Miller now driving up the court for the Bears. Miller finds Wingeier up top. Wingeier dribbling around the outside, gets it to Bailey Cummins. Cummins driving, goes up, good defense, goes up and doesn't get the bucket to go. That's one we'll see her go.
Yep.
Against Reagan Turner, the good defense there from the Blue Raiders. Kayla Stiles now up and no good, rolls out on the mid-range shot. They will say it was last touched by Shawnee Bear.
I don't know about that one, but so Lindsey Wilson will inbound it here.
It'll be inbounded by Tiana Curry, the junior from Louisville. Kind of a distributor role in this team. She gets it to Kayla Stiles. Working around the perimeter, Stiles to Heidi Huffman. Huffman now to Reagan Turner. Reagan setting up the play, 19 on the shot clock for the Blue Raiders. Leaking outside is Huffman, guarded closely by Ashton Lovely. Back to Stiles up top. Stiles with a hand in her face. Three-point shot is up and no good. Good defense.
Rideout got the hand right up, in, as you say, in the Stiles' face. And
Ashton Lovely, one of her signature long-range threes. That one is off the mark. Not a usual sight. She's usually pinpoint from there.
Coast to coast.
Driving and up, gets the foul is Reagan Turner. The bucket almost went, so she will have a chance at 2 from the line.
Reagan Turner pushed it, got up there, and was able to pick up a foul on the way to the bucket.
Almost got the basket as well, but a 2-point try. So now Lindsey Wilson up 2-0 with 8:12 left to play here in the first quarter in the Cave. It is beach theme night. All the students coming out. We've got a pretty decent crowd for you as this is a huge Mid-South matchup as the first free throw is in and good from Reagan Turner.
Number 23, Devin Cheatham substitutes in for Lindsey Wilson.
Second free throw up and good. She's good for both. Reagan Turner extends the Blue Raider lead to 4 now. As here comes Bailey Cummins in the Bears offense. Still scoreless. Bailey Cummins driving that little mid-range shot. Up and no good. That's a shot we'll see her make a lot, but the ball is tipped back into Bears possession. Bailey Cummins working out to Rideout, who takes the three. Rideout, good. In the first bucket for Shawnee State, coming off an impressive three-point shot from Madison Rideout.
Looks like the Bears have settled down a little bit now, Alec, and they're getting into their flow of the game.
I think they saw Lindsey Wilson isn't going to let them play their game of fast pace. Lindsey Wilson playing good defense, staying in front of them.
Yes, they
now
are.
Letting them get a lot of fast break opportunities. Here as the pass is read and picked off by Cummins, who gets the bucket. And a timeout called on the floor by the Blue Raiders.
Let's take a break here. Well, we're not. I guess we'll come back to that on the next break. Alec, going to the hoop there, they're starting to push it. They got the turnover, and what this is going to do is it's going to slow down Lindsey Wilson in the process too. You know, they're going to be a little bit more deliberate, and that's what the Bears are going to have to do. They're at home. They need to dictate the pace, and they need to be in their face.
Yeah, and Shawnee State, used to these non-conference matchups, they've played 13 of those games at the beginning of the season, and most of the time they could run all over these teams with all due respect, and I mean quite literally run. Their speed is unreal against most teams, but this Lindsey Wilson team, Mid-South Conference play is much different. They're going to have to be patient, set up plays, and have good, efficient offense if they're going to want to stay into this game and get the W, hopefully, for the Bears. Lindsey Wilson, on the other hand, want definitely to push the pace, control the game. If they let Shawnee State control the game and settle into their offense, it'll be a long game for the Blue Raiders.
And of course, when we looked at the two teams, they both played Brussia, and they both have beaten them. We have Lindsey Wilson beat Indiana Wesleyan, and the Bears, of course, dropped a game to Indiana Wesleyan. So in common opponents, pretty close there. So it's hard to really draw any conclusions from that.
That Indiana Wesleyan game, Shawnee State lost by a buzzer beater 3 in the corner, and it was an unreal basketball game. Here's the Blue Raiders are back in action. This is Tiana Curry moving off the screen. Curry at the charity stripe, up and good. And that now puts the Blue Raiders up top.
Tiana Curry.
6-5 now the score, 7 minutes left to play. Here's Bailey Cummins on the outside working against Curry. Cummins finds Wingire for first attempt of the night. Goes off the bottom of the backboard there.
Rebound by Kayla Stiles. Now, is Kayla Stiles an All-American? You know, is she a returning All-American?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm sure she received votes last year.
Got some votes for it?
Yep.
Nice ball player.
Now Reagan Turner to Curry. And I'm sure this year she will be in contention for that as she goes up against a whole bunch of Shawnee State defenders. Bucket doesn't go, rebounded by Rideout.
A lot of tall timber in there for the Bears.
Here comes Cummins driving, leaks back outside. Cummins now moving along with the Raider defense, 22 on the shot clock. Cummins will set it up from the left side, and there'll be a foul on the floor.
First, number 3, Beth Owens, is now in.
And I believe they called that foul on Tiana Curry, an off-ball foul, so it'll be Shawnee State checking in with a new shot clock. Ashton Lovely checks it in to Hannah Miller. Hannah Miller, the junior, really showing out this year as she drives to the basket and gets a tough hoop.
Devin Cheatham to the hoop. Strong. Was not to be denied on that one, Alec.
Strong and fast. Hannah Miller made a huge impact this season in double-digit scoring already. This is the second game of conference play for both teams, and a huge one at that, as Kayla Stiles works on the perimeter, shoots with a hand in her face from right out, no good. Rebounded by Shawnee State, but then poked out of bounds by Lindsey Wilson. Wingire fought hard for that rebound, tried to get it to her teammate, and it was poked out of bounds.
She went down on the ground to get that one, and worked out well for the Bears as Lindsey Wilson knocked it out of bounds.
7-6 now. The Bears are back in action. 5:45 left to play here in the first quarter. Former All-American Ashton Lovely driving, spinning, going outlet pass to outside. This is right out for three. Right out, 2 of 2. 2 huge three-point shots. That puts the Bears up their biggest lead of this one so far. 10-6 Shawnee State with 5:28 left to play. The Blue Raiders, though, looking to answer here as Tiana Curry takes it up the court for them. Kayla Stiles on the elbow, gets it back to Curry, who drives, goes up against good defense, unable to get it to go, rebounded by Bailey Cummins.
Cummins may go coast to coast with this. Oh, knocked away by Lindsey Wilson's.
I believe that is number 4, Janiah Harris, poking it away for her first action of the night, as Shania Massey checks in for Hannah Miller. And I was made aware that our video is a little bit delayed, so we'll try to set up the picture nicely for you. As Ashton Lovely's check into Madison Rideout. She is on the right wing. The screen from Wingard doesn't need it, takes the 3, no good. Heat check from her doesn't fall, but she drives, stops, and shoots it. It's good.
12-6, Alec.
Rideout now already with 8 points in this game, making a huge impact against these Blue Raider defense. Kayla Stiles now driving.
Oh, nice.
Gets her own rebound
by Wingire.
Gets her own rebound. It was fouled on the way back up for the second chance bucket. Wingire will go to the line.
No easy ones for Stiles here. I mean, she's going in there, and Rideout and Wingire are not going to give her a clean path to the basket. And what a great battle here that's developing between Stiles and Rideout. And Stiles' first shot from the charity stripe is good. Second one coming out. And it's up And it's good.
The reigning Mid-South Conference Player of the Year, Kayla Stiles, sinking both free throws, decreasing the Blue Raider deficit.
So
12 to 8
Devin
now.
Cheatham in for Gerda Polskaita for Lindsey Wilson.
And we will see Hannah Miller check in shortly for the Bears. This is Shania Massey on the quarter, up top to Ashton Lovely. Now Bailey Cummins on the left wing to Ride Out up top. Ride Out calling for the screen, moves beyond it, back up top to Ashton Lovely. 12 on the shot clock for the Bears. Moving off the screen is Lovely. Lovely dribbling, driving, going up against tough D. And one bucket for Ashton Lovely. Good defense from the Blue Raiders, and Lovely gets it to go, has a chance for three. Shawnee State settling quite nicely into their offense.
Lovely, strong to the hoop. Averaging 14.4 a game. As she gets ready to add to her point total here.
Ashton Lovely, an All-American her freshman year, suffered an ankle injury her sophomore year that kind of incapacitated her most of that season. Rebounded on the second miss. Ashton Lovely from three, up, no good. And rebounded by the Blue Raiders. That is Reagan Turner getting the board for them. Tiana Curry now driving. Curry goes up with it, gets the bucket.
Coast to coast by Curry. Cuts the lead to 4 for the Bears.
So now it's Cummins setting up the offense for the Bears. Off the screen from Ride Out. Cummins back to Ride Out. Ride Out says, I'll take it anyway with a hand in her face. Doesn't get it to go. Rebounded by Hannah Miller.
Kicks it back out.
Shania Massey back to Cummins. Cummins find a lane, drives. Was fouled as she started her shot there by Tiana Curry. Curry not happy with that call. So Bailey Cummins will make her first trip to the line.
Curry's picked up 2 in the first period here, so that could be a troublesome situation for Lindsey Wilson.
First free throw up and good for Bailey Cummins. Heidi Huffman checks in for the Blue Raiders.
Cummins with the second effort here. And it's good. So that pushes out to 16-10 in favor of Shawnee State.
Lindsey Wilson goes to work down 6. This is Reagan Turner, their second leading scorer, on the outside wing against Hannah Miller. Now Heidi Huffman driving it on the outside. Driving, going up for the layup, no good. That was Devin Cheatham. And kind of a struggle for the rebound. Number 4 went up for, that was Jania Harris going up for the second chance bucket and was poked out of bounds by a Shawnee State defender. New shot clock and...
You know, Alec, I've been impressed by a Shawnee State ability to switch on defense. They're going right through picks, and that's why Lindsey Wilson's had such a hard time putting points on the board.
No shooter's roll for Kayla Stiles.
Kayla Stiles takes it strong to the hoop, but nothing for that effort.
Ashton Lovely now driving. Lovely half a spin, almost lost her dribble. Back outside to Cummins at the top of the three-point line. Cummins will drive. Kicks it out to Shania Massey. Three-point shot up, no good. Rebounded by Hannah Miller.
Miller
on the outside, now over to Cummins on the left wing. Cummins going off the screen from Ride Out. Cummins driving against Stiles. Outlet pass to Massey. They will call a travel on Shania Massey on the outside.
I think what we're going to see here, Alec, is that the Bears are going to try to get some screens set up to try to get Cummins, being the top three-point shooter here, to get her some clean looks at the basket.
Really, and Bailey Cummins, the reason she led last year in three-point shooting percentage, she takes smart shots, doesn't force anything, and that's kind of the leadership they need for a couple of these young girls coming in this season.
Right.
Seeing that efficient offense here as it's Turner driving hard to the hoop was fouled.
And I think that's Cummins who got a piece of her on that.
So for the Bears, it is Madison Rideout, Hannah Miller, Shania Massey, Ashton Lovely, and Bailey Cummins. Heidi Huffman, Jania Harris, Reagan Turner, Kayla Stiles, and Devin Cheatham, the five on the court for Lindsey Wilson. Here as Turner's first free throw is up and good. 16-11 the score, 2:34 left to play here in the first period. And the Cave, Shawnee State leads. The lead is now cut to 4.
As Reagan Turner nails another one.
And Bailey Cummins back to work. The field general for the Bears sets up a play outside Ashton Lovely, guarded closely by Reagan Turner. Lovely driving, spinning on the block, goes up for the mid-range shot, and one.
Strong shot by Ashton Lovely there.
Took it to the block, spun around the defender with a long arm layup, and she will have a chance at 3 after the foul and the bucket.
A little old school there, Alec. Using the glass. You don't see it a lot, but it's deadly when you're good at it.
And her free throw is off. She is now 1 of 3 free throw shooting on the evening as the Blue Raiders are back to work, now down 6. This is Jania Harris on the outside, guarded by Ashton Lovely.
Good man-to-man by the Bears. Oh!
And that was a hard foul. Not sure who they'll call on that one, but Jania Harris going towards the basket and was fouled. Bill, some physical play, a lot of trips to the line for both teams.
Yeah, and I believe that was on Ashton Lovely, I believe.
It looks like they did call the foul on Lovely.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, they are banging each other here, and I guess it's going to be the award. Attrition is who's going to get more frustrated with this first.
Yeah, exactly. And Shawnee State can't help getting frustrated. They like to run up and down the court, very fast-paced, almost video game-like offense. They're just not going to be able to do this against the Raiders of Lindsey Wilson, so they've got to kind of slow it down, and if they want to keep this lead, do the same as the free throw falls.
Set up some good outside shots, and, if they can get out to a bigger lead, then they'll start getting their way because Lindsey Wilson will have to come out of their game plan.
And most of the time they can wear teams down, so they start getting a lot of buckets in transition. That's what Lindsey Wilson is going to want to stop as we get down the stretch here. Minute 43 left in the first quarter. Shawnee State leads by 4.
There.
After the nice pick, it's stolen away by Lindsey Wilson, and up for the shot. Janaea Harris, kind of an ill-advised shot. Kayla Stiles tried to clean it up, no good.
Right out, broke it up initially, got back on the floor and was able to get the rebound.
Ashton Lovely crossed her up and hits the shot. My goodness. Let that girl cook. Crossed her up from mid-range, hit the jumper. And that's got everybody going wild here as that extends Shawnee State's lead to 6. Driving and getting the bucket is Devin Cheatham. A tough basket for the Raiders. Here as they try to put a pressure system on Cummins and Massey. Cummins on the outside over to Rideout, who thought about the three-point shot. Guarded closely by Stiles. This is Ashton Lovely on the outside. Lovely calls for the screen from Rideout, takes the 3. That is her spot. Shania Massey with the long rebound. Cummins outside. 3 is good. And that's what I'm talking about. When she gets open, she takes the shot, pulls the trigger quickly, and it's usually good, as we see there. Shawnee State leads now 23-16.
A beautiful shot there, and, that's the type of thing. If they're able to get that outside shot, then the inside presence is just going to open up for them, and they're going to have their way, be able to drive to the basket. It's going to create a long night for Lindsey Wilson.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe Lydia Poe work her way into the game later on. She's been kind of suffering with an ankle injury, still just kind of lingering around. They just want to rest her as much as possible, which is why true freshman Leah Wingeier got the start at the 5 position. But most of the time what Shawnee likes to do is they like to draw the defensive pressure down low, and that opens the outlet pass because starts sucking the Lindsey Wilson defenders in.
Right.
They haven't been able to do so far, instead using the pick and roll to get open shooters on the outside, like you said.
Okay, we'll try to get a quick break here. And we're still not getting this.
So now coming out of the timeout, it will be Lindsey Wilson ball. Taking it up the court is Tiana Curry alongside Jania Harris. Curry now on the outside, Kayla Stiles. Stiles at the elbow now, dribbling, gets it back outside to Curry. Curry from 3, thought about the shot, dribble drives against Bailey Cummins, tried to work it down low to Kayla Stiles. It is poked away by Rideout. Cummins and the Bears back to work. No shot clock, 19 seconds left in the first quarter. The Bears will dribble this out and look for a shot.
Okay. And who better to have the ball in her hands is than Bailey Cummins.
Cummins now working it to Lovely, both proficient
Lovely's
shooters.
taking it to the hoop. Oh, she's going to get the foul. Oh.
A hard foul sends Ashton Lovely down to the floor.
She hit the ground hard.
And really sold the pump fake, which drew Kayla Stiles off her feet.
Yeah.
Kayla Stiles just came down on her after she went up for the pump fake.
Yeah,
it'll be an obvious foul, but scary to see.
Stiles came down with all her weight. I mean, her butt was sitting right on her back, and Lovely came down pretty hard into the ground, but she looks like she's all right. She's not.
Maybe just a little shock, hit the ground pretty hard.
Yes. Yeah.
But Ashton Love, it's always scary to see her go down. I've seen her, re-aggravate that ankle too many times, and I just want to see her healthy. So,
and see braces on both knees, so she's obviously trying to take care of any ailment she has there.
As her first free throw falls, 2.3 left on the clock. And 24-16 Shawnee State lead there as the second free throw falls for Lovely.
Coming into the game for Shawnee State is Lakin Smith, the freshman.
Lakin Smith had a couple breakout games, Bill. The last couple games, she had her first double-double. As that long heave from Lindsey Wilson doesn't fall by Tiana Curry. And that'll wrap it up for the first quarter, 25-16 Shawnee State lead.
You know, Alec, the one thing I'm impressed with is the use of the bench by Shawnee State, because, as you know, it's a long season. You're just getting into league play, and then you've got the national tournament hopefully on top of that. And to get these young, big kids some experience in a game like this is going to pay off tremendously for the Bears.
Yeah, that segues perfectly. Losing Janessa Moore last year, who was a huge presence down low for the Bears, an All-American, they picked up 3 good-sized freshmen in Sienna King, the freshman, Lydia Poe, and Leah Wingeier, all over 6 foot. Leah Wingeier taking that cake at 6'5". All freshmen. And Lakin Smith, a freshman as well.
Okay, we're going to see if we can get to the break. We are still not having any success. Hopefully we'll get Rick over here, though.
Touch screen not working for you?
No, I can't not get it to go.
Is it that one there?
Yep, that's it.
Begin the next step
there you go.
At Ohio Christian University, one of the nation's
that's simple.
growing nonprofit universities. Earn an accredited associate, bachelor, or master's degree.
Okay, so as we get ready.
Online, or attend class once a week at one of 11 convenient locations. Programs range from business and human services to IT and RN to BSN and more. Call today, 855-OCU-GRAD, or on the web at enroll.ohiochristian.edu.
So after that word from the sponsors, we're going to get back underway here in the second period of action. Shawnee State holds on to a 25-16 lead against the Blue Raiders here in Mid-South Conference play from Portsmouth, Ohio. Campus Nation. I'm Alec Morgan, joined by Bill Rayvack.
Bailey Cummins brings it up for the Bears.
This is Ashton Lovely now on the perimeter, spinning at the charity stripe, freed herself up. Wow.
Great.
Gets the bucket to go on a spin move at the block, up and over the defender, 27-16. Shawnee State now leading by 11.
Great drive by Lovely there.
This is Curry on the outside. Huffman, now Stiles. Working around the perimeter of the Blue Raiders. Finds a lane and goes up with it. No good as Cheatham will draw the foul. No, that is a charge call. Great setup from Hannah Miller.
Cheatham couldn't control her body, and nice positioning by Shawnee State under the basket. You know, Alec, I wanted to say that Lovely's up to 10 points already. And quietly, as we talked about, they can hurt you in many different ways, and we're seeing that happening right now.
Shawnee State, quick stat for you, shooting 47% so far in this one, 9 of 19 from the floor, and 3 of 9 from 3 at 33%. Lindsey Wilson, on the other hand, struggling, shooting just 4 of 17 for
Bailey
25%.
Cummins, three-pointer.
Cummins' three-pointer doesn't fall, rebounded by Stiles. Here comes Kayla Stiles and the Blue Raiders working against this 11-point deficit. Now Stiles will drive and take it herself. An athletic play to the basket leads to 2.
It's with Stiles, the thing about her that's impressive, she's a big girl, but yet she can bring the ball up the floor, and that makes her doubly dangerous.
Athletic and fast, indeed.
Yep. Right out. Nice rebound. She's going to... Oh!
And the ball almost gets stuck in the crack there. Hannah Miller with the rebound. Bailey Cummins, open three-point shot. Almost guaranteed. As the leading three-point... or I guess the most efficient three-point shooter in the Mid-South, strikes again for her second 3 of the game.
And if they can get Bailey those set shots throughout the night, she's just going to tear them up on that shot.
Absolutely. Another shot from Cheatham is off the mark.
Right out with the rebound.
Here comes Ashton Lovely and the Bears. Lovely will take it herself behind the back. My goodness. Ashton Lovely behind the back, drew the defender. Oh, my goodness. If I wasn't broadcasting, I'd be on the floor. My God. Tiana Curry on the other end, missing.
Bailey Cummins with the rebound.
Ashton Lovely back true
Gets
to
it out
form.
quick. Oh! You're starting to see a little bit of the running game that you were talking about,
Yeah,
Alec.
exactly. Once they can break it open, they will take advantage of that. With fast girls like Ashton Lovely, Madison Rideout, Bailey Cummins, they can bring it at you. Lindsey Wilson.
14-point lead.
Yep, Shawnee State, as Bill said, I didn't even know, 14-point lead now for Shawnee State.
Lydia Poe is now in, and as you say, her ankle's been banged up a little bit.
A little bit, yes. They've been trying to rest her as much as possible this season. I think that's an answer to Paula Skida checking back in, kind of
a big girl there, too, in her own rights.
Kayla Stiles now on the outside. Gets it to Paula Skida, who takes a shot from the charity stripe, up and good. Now 32-20. Lindsey Wilson with the lead. Shawnee State with the lead. Lindsey Wilson down 12. It is Bailey Cummins and the Bears back in action on the offensive end. Lydia Poe down low. Goes up, no good. Rebounded by Paula Skida.
Paula Skida played some nice defense on that one. Oh!
Ball was poked away by Bailey Cummins. Retrieved by Hannah Miller. And just like that, the Bears are back in action on offense. Cummins driving. Steps back, looks for the play. Cummins on the outside. Ashton Lovely, who calls for the screen from Lydia Poe. Lovely.
Oh, nice set.
Takes the screen, steps back from three, up, no good, and the rebound by Lindsey Wilson.
Pretty good hustle by Poe. Sets the pick, gets down there, almost pulls off the rebound, too.
And she is dangerous down low. A huge improvement from last season for her. Kind of coming out of the shadows of Janessa Moore. She's made a big impact already this season. So it'll be Tiana Curry now driving against Cummins. Curry steps back, puts the wild shot up, no good. And rebounded by Paula Skita, tip to
number 2, Reagan Turner.
Indeed, Reagan Turner gets the basket. And there is a Blue Raider on the floor. Not Kayla Stiles. I can't really tell who's. Is that Curry?
It might be Curry.
Tiana Curry, I believe.
Yeah, I think
hit
that's
the deck.
who it is.
A little banged up there, being seen by team trainer.
Okay, well, let's get a break here. This time, I'm going to get it right.
Begin the next step of your life at Ohio Christian University, one of the nation's fastest-growing nonprofit universities. Earn an accredited associate, bachelor, or master's degree entirely online, or attend class once a week at one of 11 convenient locations. Programs range from business and human services to IT and RN to BSN and more. Call today, 855-OCU-GRAD, or on the web at enroll.ohiochristian.edu.
And so, after that word from our sponsors, once again, a 10-point lead for Shawnee State with 6 minutes and 34 seconds left to play. It's kind of becoming a track meet now, Bill, as we see both teams trying to push the pace, and Shawnee State definitely leading.
And I think the use of the bench, again, going back to what I said in the first period, is we've seen some liberal substitution by the Bears, and I think that's going to pay off dividends as Lindsey Wilson doesn't appear to be quite as deep.
No, not as well conditioned either off the bench, and that's one thing Jeff Nickel prides himself on. It's why this scoring is so evenly distributed at Shawnee State. They like to push the ball around, and they've got a nice rotation. They've got a bunch of girls they can work in, a couple true freshmen, a couple leaders, along with lone senior Madison Rideout. And like you said, they really know how to work that rotation. And with the fast-paced offense they play, you've got to have that. You've got to have fresh bodies off the bench that can shoot and keep this sort of lead.
Yeah, you look at the first period totals, and when you've got a scorer like Kayla Stiles with just 4 points in that first period, and she highlights their scoring parade, boy, that speaks volumes about the defense we see being played.
Yep, Shawnee State playing good defense indeed. Here they are back in offensive action. Bailey Cummins works it out to Shania Massey. Massey over to Hannah Miller. Hannah Miller off the screen from Poe. Miller spins, no basket. We'll find Shania Massey outside, 14 on the shot clock. Massey goes right up in the face of Paula Skita, rebounded by Poe. On the outside, now Shania Massey comes up with it. Massey to Bailey Cummins on the left wing. A new shot clock for the Bears. Bailey Cummins off the screen
nice
from
pick.
Lydia Poe, and Cummins' shot is blocked by Paula Skita. And they'll just be out of bounds, no foul.
No, that was a clean block, but what a pick by Poe. I mean, she knocked the teeth out of her mouth on that one.
And then Poe, kind of a mental lapse there, loses the ball on the inbound try. I'm not sure what.
I think Paula Skita might have knocked it away. She tried to throw it in, and Paula Skita's got some long arms there.
Yeah, she is long and athletic.
Yes, she is.
Inbound finally getting in for the Bears. This is Poe backing down Paula Skita on the low block. Poe's shot is no good.
Little baby Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hook there. Show my age.
Here comes Heidi Huffman. Indeed, the baby hook not going for Lydia Poe. We'll see. Actually, we'll see her take a few of those, I'm sure.
Okay.
That is one of her ideal
signature
shots.
shots. Yep.
Polosquita now on the elbow, works it down to Stiles. Stiles against Hannah Miller. Stiles spinning, goes up and good, and gets the foul. So she'll have a chance at a three-point play as an athletic play from Stiles sends her to the line after getting 2.
A little hoop and some harm there, and I think what you're going to see is Stiles is going to have to start taking more ownership to this if Lindsey Wilson's going to get back into the game.
Definitely Kayla Stiles, their leading scorer. Her and Reagan Turner handling most of all of the Blue Raiders scoring so far this season. They are now down 7. 5:28 left to play here in the second half. It is all Shawnee State here at the Cave.
Oh, nice.
As Shania Massey, beautiful pass to Bailey Cummins, almost tipped away, works it to Poe. Poe gets the bucket after a buddy step down low and gets 2.
Nice job by Poe. Saw the cutter, got her, boom, just the way you draw it up.
After a good play from Shawnee State, it is now the Blue Raiders back on offense. They are down by 9. Outside, Jania Harris spinning against Shania Massey. Ball almost poked away. Polosquita comes up with it. Polosquita on the outside and now finds Kayla Stiles. 5 on the shot clock. Stiles is going to have to take a shot. Moves off the screen. Stiles 2 on the shot clock. Steps back. Mid-range shot is off the mark. Rebounded by Jania Harris, who goes back up with it. Doesn't get it to go. Rebounded by the Blue Raiders again.
Cummins with the rebound.
Finally, the Bears and Cummins coming up with the rebound. Now the Bears back at it on offense. Ashton Lovey drives, will likely take it all the way. Doesn't get the bucket, but gets the foul.
Great job by Ashton Lovely. When she sees the defense slacking, she is just putting it in their face, taking it to the hole, and she's going to pick up a lot of fouls foul shots going to the hoop like that. Really? And it's going to get Lindsey Wilson in a lot of foul trouble here.
Bill, you nailed it. And you nailed it. And that's that lateral quickness that Ashton Lovely possesses. As soon as she sees the defense kind of giving her some space, she'll drive and take advantage. And 9 times out of 10, she's going to draw the foul or get the bucket or maybe even both. So her athletic play has been key for them, as Ashton Lovely already now with 12 points as we approach the end of the second quarter. We still got 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to play. Got a little.
We got it. Yeah. Okay.
Going good. Pictures are great.
Begin the next step of your life at Ohio Christian University, one of the nation's fastest-growing nonprofit universities. Earn an accredited associate, bachelor, or master's degree entirely online, or attend class once a week at one of 11 convenient locations. Programs range from business and human services to IT and RN to BSN and more. Call today, 855-OCU-GRAD, or on the web at enroll.ohiochristian.edu.
I'll get a few more in there since I was technically challenged there earlier in the game.
We're back on track now.
Yes, we are. So 9-point lead, Alec, and we could be seeing a potential 100-point game if the pace continues like this for the Bears.
And that is not uncommon. And really, I just want to go back to that dribble move by Ashton Lovely. I'm still kind of in a trance by that. Moved it behind her back, driving the lane. Behind the back, brought it up with her opposite hand, and my goodness.
Well, you can see why she was an All-American her freshman year.
And it's so great, Bill, to see her back in shape like she is. Last season, only playing a few games, couldn't really, just still suffering from that ankle injury. There, she nails her free throw. Now she's back in full athletic Ashton Lovely form, and it's awesome to see.
And for our WZAA listeners in Washington Courthouse, of course, Ashton played at Jamestown Greenview High School just down the street there, so a local product for our radio home broadcast.
And she is definitely welcome down here in Shawnee State, kind of a local celebrity. We all love Ashton. And now it's the Blue Raiders back on offense, working against this now 11-point deficit. So it'll be Huffman on the outside. Down low, Kayla Stiles, the pass. I think it was tipped away. Tipped away by Poe.
Yeah, it was a little change up there. Poe came out, and Shania Massey dropped down inside, and the Raiders didn't see the rotation on that, almost threw the ball away.
And off the inbound, Kayla Stiles was fouled. No call the foul on Madison Rideout. There, Kayla Stiles got the long inbound, and Rideout was right there on top of her. No call Rideout with the common foul.
When we look at fouls, there's no real problem for the Bears at this point. A lot of ones up there on the board, so nothing to mention about foul problems.
Kayla Stiles going up straight against Hannah Miller. Gets
nice
the jumper. 36-27 now the score. Shawnee State ahead. 3:56 left to play here in the second quarter. Hannah Miller gets the ball, drives quickly up against the defense, gets the and one. My goodness, Hannah Miller, the third time she's done so. And the handshake with Ashton Lovely, quite fitting there, as Hannah Miller will step to the line, and we've seen a lot of that.
Yep. Got the hoop and some harm there.
So Hannah Miller, a chance to make it 39-27, and she does.
Yes, she does.
The leading free throw shooter in the Mid-South strikes again after getting the three-point play, as Lindsey Wilson will check it in now. Looks like Kayla Stiles needs a towel. There's some sweat on the floor. Taking initiative there.
And Shawnee State's pushed it back out to 12 points, Alec. And, if they can keep that nice margin going into halftime, it's going to be a tough uphill battle for Lindsey Wilson. Looking at some of the statistics here, we've got 12 points for Ashton Lovely, 10 points for Bailey Cummins, 8 points for Madison Rideout. So good balanced scoring all the way around the horn there for the Bears.
Indeed, the Bears spreading it around. Here, the Blue Raiders working at this deficit. It is loud here in the cave. A jumper from Cheatham does not fall.
I think
rebounded by Rideout.
I think Hannah Miller got a hand on that one.
Ashton Lovely goes up tough, rebounded by Stiles. Stiles will likely take it all the way. She's got numbers. Jania Harris outside, wide open three, up, no good, off the front of the rim, rebounded by Rideout.
Nice job by Rideout on the rebound, out to Lovely.
Lovely finds Rideout outside for three, doesn't get the bucket. A long will be no rebound. It'll go out of bounds and be a Blue Raider ball.
And the Blue Raiders, you can see a little bit of the frustration. One thing about Paula Skida, as I've noticed when she's come back in, she doesn't seem like she is much of a threat to shoot from out on the three-point line. Actually doesn't even look like she wants to think about that. So in some ways, you're only playing on the perimeter for people instead of having to worry about that big girl stepping out and hitting it.
In the way the basketball is played today, that definitely limits you.
Yep, sure does.
Here comes Bailey Cummins back down the other end for the Bears. Finds a driving Madison Rideout who gets in some defensive trouble. But Jania Harris will draw the blocking foul. As Madison Rideout just kind of back down into her. Harris just not in the right position. It'll be a new shot clock and an inbound from Bailey Cummins. And the Bears ahead by 12, 39-27 here with 2:38 left to play in the second quarter. Long inbound to Hannah Miller. Hannah Miller goes opposite the screen, drives.
Nice move by Miller. Boy, that's just been the name of the game for the Bears, is just take it to the hoop and let them challenge you. And right now, Lindsey Wilson isn't challenging them a lot on that.
Now 41-27, Shawnee State's biggest lead of the evening as they lead by 14. Now there's Cheatham on the outside, Paula Skida.
Nice tight man-to-man there.
And the bucket, no good from Cheatham. She took a three-point shot and then rebounded, jump ball. So it will be Lindsey Wilson ball. They have the possession arrow.
That was just one of those rare times that we didn't get a good block out on that, Alec, because Paula Skida just kind of like, look what I found when it fell into her hands.
And she's kind of been that way a lot there on the elbow. I noticed they try to use her as kind of a pillar to work it around the perimeter, but if she can't be a scoring threat, you got to be careful getting her the ball out there.
Exactly.
Kayla Stiles now with the new shot clock, working it around the perimeter for Lindsey Wilson. Stiles back with it, top of the key, guarded by Hannah Miller. The Blue Raiders in Cheatham working it to Kayla Stiles. Kayla Stiles dribble, drive, step back, gets the foul. Offensive foul. And my goodness, Shawnee State, another call going their way. Kayla does not agree with that call.
You notice, Alec, that Shawnee State in their man-to-man is starting to pick them up a little higher every time. And that's going to create some turnovers that might end up some easy baskets, as they'll get some steals and some breakaways on that.
Yeah, and if you talk to Coach Nickel, that's the one thing he prides his defense on, is taking away those passing lanes, and you're stepping up quickly on the perimeter.
Yep.
To take away the option to work the ball down low. Inside passes, he's not like, even if they're beating a team 30 and they get an inside pass on him, he is not happy. He'll call a timeout and chew into him. That one makes a great coach. Jeff Nickel, of course, in his 5th season, 3 straight Mid-South Conference championships.
Nice job.
As Hannah Miller driving, going up against 2 defenders, gets the foul. Wow. Lindsey Wilson now heavily in foul trouble. Not sure one particular player. It looks like everybody on the court's got 2 fouls for them now.
I would say that, yes, they've got everybody has 2 except for
Huffman.
Huffman, right. And that's not a good omen for going into the second half with all your starters with a couple fouls.
So Hannah Miller's nails both free throws, keeping her crown as the best free throw shooter in the conference. 43-27 now the score. Shawnee State ahead at home against Lindsey Wilson. 1:36 left to play in this second quarter. Lindsey's got some ground to cover.
They sure do.
Huffman, three-point shot up and no good, not even close.
Poe gets a good block out on that.
And all the way down the court to Rideout, who switched the defender and gets around on the basket, gets two.
Nice pass by Bailey Cummins. Good head up. That she saw Rideout running the floor.
Almost
Boom.
a full court pass there.
Yep.
Found an open Rideout, spun around the defender, and an athletic play gets it to go. Kayla Stiles now working it to Paula Skeeta. Doesn't get the bunny. Skeeta gets her own rebound and got a hand on it. Was Lydia Poe.
Poe gets it out. Oh!
Kayla Stiles took away the pass, then drew the foul on her way up, and that was... Give her a Grammy.
Lydia Poe, not even fazed by that.
And so now it is Stiles stepping to the line. She gets a chance for two after she stole the ball away. Goes up, doesn't get the bucket. Drew the foul from Poe. 45-27 now the score. 45-28 now as Kayla Stiles nails her first free throw.
Number 4, Jania Harris in for the Raiders.
Kayla Stiles gets both to fall. 45-29 here with just less than a minute left to go in the second quarter. First half almost finished here in the first game of our doubleheader. We'll have the men of Shawnee State going up against the men of Lindsey Wilson, of course. Another Mid-South Conference game. That'll tip off right after this one.
Oh, and another foul. Wow.
Lindsey Wilson fouling a driving Hannah Miller.
Turner with that's 3 on Turner. And they're going to have to get her out. I mean, they can't afford to keep her on there and pick up a fourth. So I think we're going to see the last of Reagan Turner for this half.
And the Blue Raiders getting in some foul trouble. And just like you said, she will check out in favor of Cheatham. So now 46-29, the score, 48 seconds left to play here in this first half. Hannah Miller goes up for 2 free throws are good for her.
18-point lead, Alec.
The biggest lead of the game indeed for Shawnee State. This is now Lindsey Wilson on offense, working against this big deficit. Kayla Stiles driving outside. Stiles looking for a pass. Stiles, nobody open. This is Jania Harris outside, 15 on the shot clock for the Blue Raiders. Driving and getting the basket up and no good. Rebounded by Lindsey Wilson. This is Jania Harris who just lost it out of bounds.
Nice strip there.
Yeah.
I'm almost surprised it didn't go our way because I thought that the ball had come down into her leg, but that's all right. We won't be greedy.
Driving and missing the first shot was Molly Stone. I couldn't see the roster there. She worked it to Jania Harris. Now this is Kayla Stiles on the low block, works it outside to Huffman. Huffman to Harris now, the Blue Raiders. Off the screen, Harris. Good defense from Poe. Harris driving. That shot is blocked by Bailey Cummins, but she stepped out of bounds right as she tried to retrieve the ball.
Nice first half by Bailey Cummins. Really put together a complete game here.
Cummins, 10 points already.
The sophomore out of Brooksville, New York, or Kentucky. Bracken County High School.
And now this is Kayla Stiles at the free throw line, driving against Hannah Miller. No foul. They will call a foul, but it'll be on Hannah Miller. Kind of a frustrating foul there as Hannah Miller expected the charge call, set herself up for it.
2 seconds to go here.
2 seconds left, indeed, in the first half. Kayla Stiles will go to the line. 47-29, Shawnee State lead by 18.
Going into the second half, I think they're going to have to find someone else besides Stiles, and it's got to be an outside threat, or otherwise Shawnee State's going to have their way with them in the second half also.
Shawnee State undefeated when going into halftime with the lead. So Lindsey Wilson has got some work to do. We will see what their coach has to say in the locker room. Maybe they come out a different team. We'll see as the ref talks to Hannah Miller a little bit. She might have been banged up after that play, lost to contact.
For sure.
Looking for it, found it. Lydia Poe, the teammate coming through and finding it for
she eyed
Hannah
that
Miller.
one up.
kind of a side note, Lydia Poe is a great person. She is a great ball player, but also a great person. I'm pretty close with her. Like her a lot. Really, all these girls. They play great together. They love the game. They're just a pleasure to watch.
And, other than Madison Rideout, what a young team this is. I mean, Madison's a senior, but everybody else is going to be coming back. And
everybody, we've got at least another year out of them.
And hopefully you add a couple nice recruits. And
of course, yep.
Things will be looking to get good again next year for the Bears.
Styles, free throws up and no good. And, yeah, like you just said, recruiting is huge for Coach Nickel and his staff.
Right.
They're like last year, this year, they picked up Lakin Smith, Leah Wingeier, a couple big bodies down low, and they've already made an impact, and that shot falls. Also, high school All-American Hagen Schaefer, who we've yet to see. Also on the Shawnee State benches, that last heave from Ashton Lovely does not fall. Well, we will go to halftime. Shawnee State ahead 17, 47-30 is the score after the first half of play.
Okay, and we're going to get a...
Begin the next step of your life at Ohio Christian University, one of the nation's fastest-growing nonprofit universities. Earn an accredited associate, bachelor, or master's degree entirely online, or attend class once a week at one of 11 convenient locations. Programs range from business and human services to IT and RN to BSN and more. Call today, 855-OCU-GRAD, or on the web at enroll.ohiochristian.edu.
As long as this is off, this is mic 3.
I turned them down during the last break. I didn't know if you were going to talk, so I turned it back up.
Keep your eye out. When the first piece comes up, pull those out immediately.
The gain is where you get the reel, but okay, that's all
Yeah,
off.
but during the break, my boss texted and said that while we're on commercial, our mics are still live.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
should I just turn these down when we go to commercial?
You can, and just turn them down and then turn them back up at 3 o'clock. All right. Well, we are here at Shawnee State, home of the Bears. We are at halftime with the score, Shawnee State 47 and Lindsey Wilson 30. Coming up next on CampusNation.com and WZAA 106.9 LPFM in Jeffersonville, Ohio. We've got men's basketball.
And the 15-0 men's Lindsey Wilson team.
That's right. So we've had already a very exciting first half of basketball, women's basketball. Got a lot of great shots. First time we've done 3 cameras. We're using one of Shawnee State's camera people on their camera for our center court shot. And then I'm underneath the basket. It'll be the home basket this second half. And then also we've got Mean Dean over on our camera number 2.
Mean Dean.
That's right, Mean Dean.
So,
anyway,
Rick, what are your impressions of Shawnee State in our first trip down
First
here?
of all, I love their facility. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's homey, yet it's still expansive.
Yeah.
And the whole atmosphere here, the fans, I guess the student section really, and I'm not sure what their schedule is, whether they're home, this is the first day home. Like
well,
at
they
Wilmington
came
College.
back Monday.
They came back Monday. Okay.
Alec Morgan, the play-by-play man for the Bears, was telling me that they had just come back. So a lot of enthusiasm with the kids coming back to school and, getting back into the flow of things. And what a better way to do it with having 2 nationally ranked teams. Of course, Shawnee State's number 4 in the country. Lindsey Wilson is number 12. And 2 quality basketball teams here. But Shawnee State's been on fire, Rick.
They have. And I guess it's some of that home cooking.
They a lot of foul trouble for Lindsey Wilson.
Yeah, I saw that. We had one of the Lindsey Wilson players hit the floor pretty hard. I don't know whether she's going through a concussion protocol, or I didn't see whether they had inserted her back into the lineup or not. But anyway.
And I would say depth would have to be a concern for Lindsey Wilson, because if you watch the rotation of the game, you're seeing a lot of substitution by Shawnee State. They're getting a lot of kids playing time. And Lindsey Wilson's maybe going 7 or 8, and they're not getting as many girls in the game. So I think that could be a tale for the second half, that Shawnee State might be wearing them out a little bit.
So anyway, we will have second half action The Blue Raiders against the Bears, and right now Bears in control, leading by 17 points at the halfway mark. So we're going to take a break here, and we will be back to start the second half here momentarily. We've got about just under 11 minutes to do that. We'll go ahead and do a top of the hour break here.
106.9 WZAA LP, Jeffersonville.
Begin the next step of your life at Ohio Christian University, one of the nation's fastest growing nonprofit universities. Earn an accredited associate, bachelor, or master's degree entirely online, or attend class once a week at one of 11 convenient locations. Programs range from business and human services to IT and RN to BSN and more. Call today 855-OCU-GRAD or on the web at enroll.ohiochristian.edu.
You can't have none of that.
Any common opponents?
Not yet.
Okay.
I do not believe. Hold on, let me check. I guess that would have been something to check on. Indiana Wesleyan. Yes, there was. Indiana Wesleyan, they won. We lost.
Oh, okay.
We're recording, remember?
Martin Methodist. Brescia. Brescia, we both won against Brescia.
Okay.
All right, be ready for blast.
Okay.
You can't have none of that.
Any common opponents?
Not yet.
Okay.
I do not believe. Hold on, let me check. I guess that would have been something to check on. Indiana Wesleyan. Yes, there was. Indiana Wesleyan, they won. We lost.
Oh, okay.
We're recording.
Martin Methodist. Brescia, we both won against Brescia.
Okay.
All right, be ready for blast.
Okay.
Knew the way that you always lived and down to be without the. Afraid my friends would see the guilt in me.
Now, do you usually break for halftime?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything is recording.
Stops, works it outside to right out. Who thought about the three? Drew the defender and then works it down to Wingeier. Wingeier up for the layup, no good. Gets her own rebound. Wingeier working it to a driving Hannah Miller outside. Ashton Lovely, a deep three, good.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's her comfort zone, the NBA three-point shot. Ashton Lovely does not take a three if it's not 3 feet away from the line. Most people would say that's a little ridiculous, but that's where she's comfortable, and you'll see her hit a lot of those.
Absolutely.
Now-
That's the thing. The shooting has been the tail of this game, and it's definitely fallen into Bears' hands because they are making inside shots. And, cutting to the basket, they've been so good taking the ball to the hoop and picking up the fouls that it almost makes Lindsey Wilson timid in the way they approach the second half.
They've got to be. They've got to be careful. Fouling with Shawnee State is so good at drawing those fouls down low. As we just had a sequence there, Lindsey Wilson off the mark. Now an Ashton Lovely three does not fall and is rebounded by Lindsey Wilson. And here comes Huffman. Lindsey Wilson down 20 now, 50-30 the score, just getting into the third quarter. Huffman on the outside against Bailey Cummins. This is Paula Skeeta from the free throw line. Mid-range shot is off the mark, no good, rebounded by the Bears. Bailey Cummins now pushing it down the court. Coach Nichols saying go, 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 push the tempo. Cummins finds a wide open lane, stops and shoots, and gets two for the Bears. It'll be a timeout on the floor by Lindsey Wilson.
Yeah, just more of the same. They're just taking the ball so deep into the key that they're high percentage shots. And then they have to drop, when they do drop inside to pressure them, then they're able to hit the three-pointers, so they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. So it's really a tough situation for Lindsey Wilson, and they just haven't been able to dial up any kind of answer at this point.
And the stats don't lie. Lindsey Wilson shooting 9 of 39 for 23% from the field. Shawnee State, on the other hand, 18 of 42, shooting 43% just about. Lindsey Wilson, here's a big stat, Bill, 0 of 6 from 3.
Yeah.
Not a 3 to fall yet for them.
And I think we talked about that a little bit, is that the fact of the matter is, if you or I were game planning, we know that we've got to stop Kayla Stiles. Stiles is going to get some points, but she's not getting value points, so to speak, right now. And they've got to find somebody to complement her, or it just can't get any better for them. You would think that the Paula Skeeta kid, she's big, but she hasn't shown much offense, so there's no relief there. Yeah,
big and athletic, but Paula Skeeta really unable yet to work herself free and get good looks at the basket. So like he said, if you're Lindsey Wilson, you've got to compliment Kayla Stiles. She averages 19. She's on pace to get there. She's got 12. But then you look at their second leading scorers, 6 apiece for Curry and Turner.
Yep.
That's not getting the job done, and that's part of the reason they're down 22 points.
Absolutely. It's just not going to get any better until they get some other balance there.
Reagan Turner now driving for the Blue Raiders, now on offense. Kayla Stiles on the right side wing, guarded closely by Rideout. Outside, Jania Harris driving against Hannah Miller. Doesn't get the bucket to go. Rebounded by the Blue Raiders. This is outside. Cheatham three-point shot off the mark. No good. Rebounded, though, by Turner, who turns around and gets the bucket. Lindsey Wilson gets 2 on that possession. They are now down 20, 52-32.
Nice hustle by Reagan Turner. She got the free ball, took it in, and got an easy layup on it.
So now it's Hannah Miller and the Bears. Hannah driving against Paula Skeeta, and they will get her. They will draw a foul.
Yes, they did.
And Paula Skeeta picks up that foul. 3-point chance now for Hannah Miller.
And that's the third foul on Paula Skeeta. So now they're starting to get in that range where they're getting 2-3 kids up there with 3 fouls.
Now she's checking out in favor of Molly Stone. Stone, the freshman from Madisonville, Kentucky. So the leading free throw shooter in the Mid-South, Hannah Miller, with a 3-point try. Ball is up. Good. And now it's Stone checking into Reagan Turner. Here come the Blue Raiders. They are down 23. Driving is Jania Harris. Found a lane, gets past the defender, doesn't get the bunny to go. Now quickly down the court, the Bears. Ashton Lovely driving. Lovely kicks it out to Cummins. Wide open 3-point shot on the way. It is off the mark. That's a rare miss for her.
Nice kick out by Ashton on that.
And here comes Kayla Stiles and the Blue Raiders. Stiles driving.
Oh.
And it looks like she was fouled by Ashton Lovely.
And that was kind of an inadvertent thing. Just her elbow caught her across the cheek. Nothing intentional. That happens in the game of basketball.
So now it'll be Kayla Stiles from the line. And I'm not sure why she's at the line. She was not shooting, but they said it looked like she was. So
yeah, apparently.
Coach Nickel not happy about that call. I don't believe she'd be at the free throw line either.
Kind of puzzling on that. Yeah. So what is the...
I guess they will count. The shots count. She goes to the line in kind of a confusing turn of events.
I guess we call that a sympathy foul there.
I guess so. Here comes Ashton Lovely and the Bears, though. Lovely working off the screen from Wingeier. Lovely driving, spinning from the block, works it to Wingeier. Basket up and good on a beautiful pass.
Nice assist by Ashton Lovely.
Lovely dropping dimes to the freshman, Leah Wingeier, who finishes the play quite nicely. Shawnee State with a commanding lead, 57-24. Blue Raiders now back on offense, struggling to keep the dribble, driving against the double team. Stiles now going up for the bucket, gets it to go. Got to have better defense there from Wingeier.
You know, Reagan Turner, if she had a little more offense to her game, she's a nice little ball player. She creates, but she's not much of a scoring threat.
Hannah Miller on the outside, working against Turner.
Oh, nice.
And then, yes, they will draw the foul. It's either going to be a travel or a foul there, and she ran into Stiles. So, no, I'm sorry, it'll be on number 25, Molly Stone will pick up the foul for the Blue Raiders, and Hannah Miller once again steps to the line.
Hannah Miller, the junior from Coal Grove, Ohio.
Hannah Miller leading in going to the line so far for the Bears, 6 of 6 for her.
Yes.
So as her first attempt falls, Shawnee State now up 58-36. And Bill, I think you called it when you said this might be a 100-point game for Shawnee State.
They're on that pace right now.
Second free throw up and almost guaranteed. It goes.
Hannah Miller with another one.
Janaea Harris and the Blue Raiders. And now it's Reagan Turner. She's got a big deficit to come against Lindsey Wilson Blue Raiders. Number 2 in the Mid-South Conference, number 12 in the country. Down away at Shawnee State, 59-36, the Bears lead. As Turner drives and Bailey Cummins blocked her shot. Goes out of bounds. It'll be a Blue Raider ball, but Bailey Cummins showing her versatility.
Yeah, you know, Reagan Turner, again, you know, we just talked about it. She is the other one that's trying to create, but even when she kicks it out, she can't get people to score. So they've got to find some more scores. Not to belabor a point, but this is the problem right now.
On the elbow, it's Kayla Stiles to go ahead and take the shot. Up and no good. They had 4 on the shot clock. Here comes Bailey Cummins and the Shawnee State Bears. Cummins driving. Nice little pass to right out, but Kayla Stiles kind of interrupted that shot. Doesn't get it to go. Rebounded by the Blue Raiders. Kayla Stiles back at the other end. Outside. Cheatham's three-point shot is blocked by Ashton Lovely. Goes out of bounds. Blue Raiders will keep the ball, but that's 2 straight blocks on defensive possessions for the Bears.
And when you start seeing shots like that, that's a sign of fatigue. When you get back-to-back shots blocked on three-point shots or outside shots, the legs are starting to disappear for Lindsey Wilson a little bit.
Driving is Molly Stone, and she will be fouled. And it was, once again, either a travel or a foul there. They'll call the foul on Wingeier. So the 5 on the floor for the Bears. It's Madison Rideout, Ashton Lovely, Leah Wingeier, and Bailey Cummins. And Hannah Miller rounds out the starting 5 for them, as it looks like they'll make a change here. Shania Massey checks in favor of Cummins. It's Reagan Turner, Heidi Huffman, Kayla Stiles, Molly Stone.
You know, Alec, the balance we talked about. You look at the scoring. You've got Ashton Lovely with 17, Hannah Miller with 11, Madison Rideout with 10, and Bailey Cummins with 12. I mean, there's 50 points there just between those 4 girls. It's tough to beat.
Spurting the ball around nicely. Here comes Ashton Lovely spinning and
nice
driving.
Play.
Beautiful. Once again, an athletic play from the All-American Ashton Lovely, going up and getting another 2 for the Bears, extending this lead now. It's 61
She's
to
going to be an
36.
All-American again, Alex, if she keeps on playing like that.
No doubt. Off the screen.
Oh, nice
Turner,
steal.
but steal by Shania Massey. Massey taking it. Tried to work it to a driving Hannah Miller. But that pass was a little bit off, and Shania smiling like, I knew I should have had that one. Had numbers all the way. Had a good pass there to Miller. And so it'll be a timeout. Okay. Coach Nickel talking it over.
And we'll get up.
Begin the next step of your life at Ohio Christian University, one of the nation's fastest-growing nonprofit universities. Earn an accredited associate, bachelor, or master's degree entirely online, or attend class once a week at one of 11 convenient locations. Programs range from business and human services to IT and RN to BSN and more. Call today, 855-OCU-GRAD, or on the web at enroll.ohiochristian.edu.
And we're back here at Shawnee State University, where we have the matchup of the number 4 ranked Shawnee State Bears and the Blue Raiders of Lindsey Wilson, ranked number 12. Shawnee State came into this game 14-3, 1-0 in the Mid-South Conference. Lindsey Wilson 13-2, 1-0 also in the Mid-South Conference. So, as you said, you know, what a game to start out your conference play with.
Yeah, exactly. Both teams looking ahead at a tough conference schedule. Shawnee State will be here at home again on January 13th this weekend, this Saturday, against Cumberland University of Tennessee. That tip will be at 2 p.m. Cumberland receiving votes for the top 25 as well. All the teams in the Mid-South, tough competition. And Lindsey Wilson actually ahead of Shawnee State in the Mid-South as it's wins and losses, and Shawnee State has 3 opposed to their 2. But after this, I think that might change a little bit.
I would say you're probably right about that, Alec.
Shawnee State ranked higher in the national poll, of course, as a driving Molly Stone doesn't get it to go. Rebounded by Stiles, who can't finish on the second chance bucket. Rebounded by Hannah Miller, and the Shawnee State Bears are back in action. Shawnee State Bears on offense now. It's Ashton Lovely hesitates. Ball poked away by Huffman. It is now Cheatham getting it to Huffman down the court. Huffman blocked from behind. And a LeBron James-esque block by Hannah Miller. My goodness. Can this game get any better for the Bears? And the students getting what they're looking for as the student section goes wild from that come-behind block.
Nice block.
Video game style play from Hannah Miller.
It definitely was.
And now the Blue Raiders with a new shot clock go back at work. Huffman on the outside. This is a driving Turner who loses the ball and draws the foul.
You know, Wiggengeier's presence in the middle, she's moved much better this half. She's starting to look like she's getting comfortable with the situation. And, man, she creates a big problem for whoever's in there against her.
Her game has gotten much more fluid as we've progressed deep into the season here. It's nice to see her. We'll get to see her for 3 more years. Kayla Stiles turning, and an athletic play results in 2 for her and the Blue Raiders. Wow, that was a great shot after the spin move from Kayla Stiles.
Yep.
Shawnee State wasting no time, though. It's right out on the outside to Ashton Lovely on the left wing, moving off the screen. Ashton Lovely, deep 3, no good. Rebounded by the Blue Raiders. 61-38 the score. Oh, my goodness, and that ball is poked away by Ashton Lovely, took down Huffman with her.
That was one of those plays from my arena in football there. It looked like a strong safety breaking that pass up. She had a beat on that ball from the time it was thrown.
Ashton Lovely read the pass well and forced it out of bounds. Now with the new shot clock, the Blue Raiders go to work. This is Kayla Stiles working against right out on the outside. Stiles move off the screen. Stiles driving, turns around, finds a driving Turner who loses the ball, recovered by the Blue Raiders. And then
bodies all over the place.
The ball was all over the place. And like he said, Reagan Turner ends up going up, gets the basket, and gets the foul. But as Bill said, that was just kind of a mess.
Man, there was just 5 bodies laying on the ground. It looked like they were playing rugby out there for a minute.
The ball flying everywhere, and it ends up in a Reagan Turner 3-point play as she hits her free throw, now decreasing the deficit to 20.
3:30 to go in the third period.
Here in the cave, it's been all Bears. Shania Massey on the outside. To Cummins to Lovely. Cummins up top, setting up the play, gets it to Massey. Cummins on the outside, fakes, drives, finds Madison Rideout, turning, and the ball is just stolen away, straight out of the hands of Rideout by Reagan Turner. Kayla Stiles down the other end with a great pass to Huffman. That finishes. That was Huffman to Stiles, then right back to Huffman, who gets the shot to fall.
Nice tip pass there. That was well-conceived play.
And this is Wingeier on the elbow, kicks it out to Ashton Lovely deep from behind the 3-point line. Bailey Cummins driving, works it to Massey, who takes the 3. Massey's 3-point shot is off the mark. A tussle for the rebound between Paula Skeeta and Wingeier results in a Lindsey Wilson possession. A foul call there on Wingeier as they both struggled for the ball.
I didn't really see that, but, I think that was a sympathy call there because I thought they both went for the ball and tied it up, but so be it. Now they're going to keep winning, I guess.
Lydia Poe, she's got to check in the correct way.
Yeah, she just can't run out there. They do have rules against that.
So Paula Skeeta now going to the line. First shot from her is up and good. 61-44 now the score as Poe checks in with 2:40 left to play here in the third quarter from the cave. Paula Skeeta good on both free throws. 16-point lead for Shawnee State.
Yeah, they've hit kind of a cold streak here. Just have to sharpen up the game and get back to what they were doing here.
And a Poe downstairs against Paulasquita. The baby hook chance, no good.
Little baby hook, and didn't get the roll on that one, Alec.
Janaea Harris working it to Huffman. Back to Harris. Harris will take it across the court for the Blue Raiders. 2:21 left to play in the third quarter. Here come Lindsey Wilson. Janaea Harris and the Raiders driving is Turner, working it to a wide open Paulasquita, whose mid-range shot. She's got to get that to fall.
Yeah, she does.
Took that from the block about 3 feet from the basket and
Cummins.
misses.
Looks like that coast to coast.
And Cummins will right past the defender's shot is no good. Rebound by Madison Rideout, who second chance bucket does not go. Kayla Stiles likely tries to go all the way and does. Draws the foul, no bucket. She will go to the line for two after the Lydia Poe foul, rather.
Yeah, we need to find someone's going to have to drop one here to get the fire started again. That's the problem sometime, Alec. You know, when you get up by 20, 25 points, you go into that little lull, you start feeling good about yourself, and then you just lose that little bit of focus, and that's all it takes to let a team back in.
In a team like this in Mid-South Conference play, it's all about runs, as basketball is these days. And Shawnee State and head coach Jeff Nickel emphasizes we've got to stay disciplined even with a lead like this, because you never know when a team can get hot and start scoring.
Exactly right.
There as Kayla Stiles hits her free throw, 61-47 the score with less than 2 minutes left to play in the third quarter. Madison right on the outside was open, votes to pass down to Lydia Poe instead. Poe is blocked by Paulasquita, whose pass is then intercepted by Ashton Lovely, who offensive. They took a charge there, Lindsey Wilson did, and it'll be,
wow.
It looked like, there was an offensive foul called on Ashton Lovely. Kind of a weird call there.
I thought so too. I wasn't quite sure they even knew who they were calling it on at that point.
So a timeout by head coach Jeff Nickel and the Bears.
Yeah,
they are up 61-47.
That's a good timeout there. I think, need to chew on the ears a little bit and say, hey, guys, got
to stay in this game.
Yeah, you got to keep this thing going, and if you want to, you got to finish the way you started the game.
The better the win, the better the rankings will fall when they come out next week. So, both teams, though, viable for the national tournament, as they have been the last couple of years. Shawnee State, of course, going in as a 1 seed, and a loss they don't really like bringing up in the first round.
Sure.
But this year, looking for another chance. They've been to the tournament every year under Jeff Nickel. And 3 Mid-South Conference championships, another one maybe hanging in the balance for them again.
Well, sometimes that bitter pill when you get upset by somebody you shouldn't get beat by is the motivation going into the next season.
Name of the game in basketball, especially in the Mid-South, named the toughest basketball conference in the NAIA, and reasonably so, as 4 Mid-South teams make their way in the top 25. Janaea Harris now on the Lindsey Wilson Raiders, back at it. Reagan Turner driving against Ashton Lovely. Turner under the basket, a nice reverse bucket.
Nice
falls
little
for
play
her.
by Reagan Turner there.
61-49, Shawnee State back on offense. Bailey Cummins over to Ashton Lovely on the outside. A wide open Shania Massey 3 falls, and that might have been the spark you're talking about, Bill.
Yeah.
And Lindsey Wilson taking it to him quickly. Reagan Turner on the other end doesn't get the bucket to fall, but Paulasquita with the rebound, fighting for the rebound. And now Kayla Stiles down low, spinning, going up against Rideout. And there will be no rebound. It goes out of bounds off the hand of Lydia Poe. So it'll be Lindsey Wilson ball.
Yeah, that 3 hopefully is enough to ignite them to, get the flow going with 56 seconds to go here in the third period.
Janaea Harris checks it into Reagan Turner. Harris will set up for the Blue Raiders with a new shot clock. Lindsey Wilson trailing Shawnee State 64-49. And here comes Reagan Turner and the Blue Raiders. Turnaround jumper does not fall under the basket. Rebounded eventually by Ashton Lovely.
Here comes Ashton pushing as she waits, gets something set up here.
Back to Ashton Lovely on the right side wing. This is Madison right out on the elbow, driving against Stiles. Turns around, finds Ashton Lovely. 15 on the shot clock for the Bears. Lovely, step back 3, up good. And that might be a 2. I'm not sure if her foot was on the line, and I think they will call it a 2.
Yeah. With 15 seconds to go in the third period.
No shot clock for the Blue Raiders. Clock winding past 10 seconds. Janaea Harris with the ball in her hand, driving against Lovely. 5 seconds. Harris will take the shot. No, she works it down to Stiles. Stiles loses the ball and was fouled with 1 second left.
And there was 3 Bears on Stiles when that ball got thrown in, so she wasn't going to get an easy shot no matter how she got that ball.
Bears swarming to the ball there. Leads to a foul, and Kayla Stiles tripped to the line. 66-49, the lead for Shawnee State. And that one falls, the first of two for Kayla Stiles. Stiles gets both to fall.
Drops both, and that's the end of the third period, Alec.
Shawnee State leading.
15-point lead for the Bears, and they just have to get back to what they were doing here, get the engines firing on all cylinders, and they can come away with an easy victory. We don't want to see them make this tougher than they have to here down this stretch. And as you said, basketball is a game of streaks. Of course, NBA shows that every time you watch one of their games, is a team can be up by 20 and then they can be down by 3 very quickly. Not as easy in college basketball, but definitely something that can happen, and you don't want to get into that type of game.
Nope, and we'll get you some quick stats here before we start the fourth quarter. Shawnee State cooling down a little bit from the field, shooting 41% on 23 of 55. Lindsey Wilson, on the other hand, up a little bit from the half at 25%, 15 of 60. Still 0 for 9, unable to get any threes to fall. Free throw percentage pretty good for both teams. Lindsey Wilson shooting 95% on 21 of 22, and Shawnee State 14 of 16. The rebounding differential pretty close. Shawnee State with 33, Lindsey Wilson with 32. Scoring leaders for both teams. Shawnee State's got Ashton Lovely with 21. Kayla Stiles for Lindsey Wilson with 22. Stiles also the leading rebounder for the Blue Raiders with 10, and the assist leader with 2. The leading rebounder for Shawnee State will be Madison Rideout, who's got 9. She's 1 away from a double-double, as Madison Rideout's got 10 points. Hannah Miller with 16, and Bailey Cummins with 12 for the Blue Raiders. Kayla Stiles, as I said, with 22. Behind her, Reagan Turner with 13, and
Bailey Cummins has, she has 8 rebounds. She picks up those loose balls, and as she will be able to maybe get a double-double here at this pace.
2 Shawnee State players on pace to a double-double, as Bill pointed out. An all-around great game for Bailey Cummins, as Kayla Stiles makes an athletic move to the basket.
Drops. The hoop and some harm, and kind of some of the things we saw in the first half that were happening to Lindsey Wilson, we see happening now a little bit to the Bears.
So that one falls for Kayla Stiles, and the three-point play converts. The lead cut down to just 12. Shawnee State leading 66-54 here as we get started in the fourth quarter. But the Bears are back in action offensively. Shania Massey's three-pointer is no good. Rebound battle will go out of bounds, and they'll say it'll stay with Shawnee State. I'm not sure.
I don't know how that wasn't loose ball, but I will say this. Great hustle there by number 14, Shania Massey. I mean, she wanted that ball, and nobody was going to deny her.
And it seems like there's never any easy rebounds or loose ball pickups for Lindsey Wilson. Shawnee State always swarming to the ball.
Yeah, they sure are.
As Hannah Miller does some work on from the elbow, passes it back outside to Bailey Cummins. Cummins over to a wide-open Madison Rideout. Three-point shot is up and no good, rebounded by Miller. Second chance shot up and no good, gets her own rebound again. Bailey Cummins outside. Hannah Miller wide open from the corner. That one does not fall once again. Long rebound almost goes the way of Shawnee State, but it'll go out of bounds off the hand of Madison Rideout.
Nice job on the offensive boards there, Alec. I mean, 3-4 shots at it, a new clock. You can't ask for much more than that. You just got to put the ball in the basket.
So Lindsey Wilson down just 12. They've been down as much as 20 points in this game. Worked their way back on a little bit of a run here. On the outside, Cheatham working to Stiles on the pick-and-roll play. Stiles backing down. Madison Rideout just gets over and outplays Rideout on the low post. Gets the bucket. Kayla Stiles now up to, let me check here, 25 for her.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's getting close to that 30 mark here. So
Bailey Cummins on the right side wing for the Bears. Cummins finds Rideout in the corner, closely guarded. This is Cummins dribbling and driving back outside to Rideout. Thought about the shot, will drive. Finds oh my goodness, finds a driving baseline,
nice
Shania Massey.
Nice assist.
Massey gets the bucket.
Madison Rideout with a great pass.
And here comes Reagan Turner and the Blue Raiders. Turner tries to take it all the way, stolen away by Lakin Smith. And now it is Bailey Cummins and the Bears back at it on the offensive end. A quick three-point shot on the way from Madison Rideout. No good. Rebounded by Paula Skeeta. Kayla Stiles back down the other end for the Blue Raiders. Goes up right up against Bailey Cummins. Doesn't get her own rebound. Goes out of bounds off the hands of Shawnee State.
Nice job by Bailey Cummings, the contender, without getting the foul, and kept the points off the board, and that's the main thing.
A size mismatch there down low.
Oh, absolutely. And when you're smaller, you've got to try to defend without picking up the foul. She did a great job with that.
So Reagan Turner will check it in for Lindsey Wilson. Gets a long inbound to Kayla Stiles on the elbow. Works it to a passing by Jalea Harris. Harris to Turner, off the screen from Stiles. Stiles trying to work it to Stiles down low, was picked off by Rideout. Rideout now. Ashton Lovely on the outside, long three-point shot up off the right side iron, rebounded by nobody. Goes out of bounds once again in favor of Shawnee State off the hand of Janaea Harris.
Great hustle there. And the offensive boards, that's been part of the story of this game, is a great job by Shawnee State just picking up those rebounds on offense.
Hannah Miller outside, works it to Ashton Lovely, guarded closely by Kayla Stiles. Lovely tries to find Rideout. It looked like it was off the foot of Stiles. Still in play, though, is Rideout spinning off Paula Skeeta's defense.
Scoop.
The scoop and score by Madison Rideout, 70-56. Now the score, Shawnee State ahead 14 with 7:14 left to play here in the fourth quarter.
Great setup by Madison Rideout on that.
Reagan Turner's three-point shot off the mark for the Blue Raiders. Rebounded by nobody once again off the hand of Shawnee State. No, I'm sorry, they'll say it was off the hand of Lindsey Wilson, so Shawnee State will have possession. Coach Nickel not happy about something. Kind of just been sloppy play in the past few minutes.
Yeah.
I guess relatively sloppy, I guess you could say, from what Shawnee State has shown so far.
Right.
Ashton Lovely outside votes to not take the wide open shot. Instead, a wide open Shania Massey doesn't get to go either. Cooling down from three. Yeah. Shawnee State 0 of 3 in their last few attempts. Janaea Harris now calling the plays for Lindsey Wilson. They are down 14 with less than 7 to play. The battle of number 4 in the country and number 12 in the country. Yep. Number 4 looking powerful as Paula Skeeta works the ball down low and gets it to go.
Little pick and roll there.
Shawnee State back on offense. Their lead is cut to now just 12. Lovely outside to Shania Massey. Back to Lovely. Lovely on the corner, over to Bailey Cummins. Shania Massey driving from the free throw line, kind of gets tripped up and loses the ball. Lindsey Wilson will have it all the way down the court to Stiles. Stiles gets fouled hard by Ashton Lovely. I think Ashton Lovely just didn't want her to get the bucket and kind of intentionally wrapped her up there.
I would agree. That's 3 on Ashton Lovely.
Even if she has to come out of the game soon, I think they're going to be happy with the way she's played today.
Oh, yeah.
21 points for Ashton Lovely, 2 rebounds and 3 assists, a couple of unbelievable plays from her on the first half.
Yeah.
So Kayla Stiles' first free throw is up and no good. When you're Lindsey Wilson now, and this lead is kind of fluctuating, but always stayed above 10 here for the most of the second half, and you just got to keep playing and keep, developing plays the way you would if you were up by 5.
Nice rebound by Rideout. Good outlet pass to Cummins.
So Kayla Stiles not connecting on either of her free throws there. And a wide open shot from the corner from Shania Massey does not fall, and that's a rare sight from her. Lindsey Wilson back down the other way. Huffman chucks up a 3, and it's good.
And we talked about that at halftime. If they're able to find that, Alec, they can cut this lead down quickly.
70-61, the lead cut to 9 for Shawnee State. Bailey Cummins outside, Shania Massey in the corner. Cummins against Stiles on the right side wing. Tries to drive, kicks it out to Lovely. Lovely hesitates, drives inside. A wide open Shania Massey misses the bunny, gets her own rebound, but draws the foul. And Shania Massey, I'm not sure, just found herself too wide open. I think it surprised her.
Yeah.
Missed the first.
Well, she's just been in a bad place all along. A couple 3 misses. I think it's getting into her head a little bit.
Yeah.
And she's just got to take a deep breath, nail these shots, and get back into a flow. I'd like to see them try to incorporate Bailey Cummins more into the three-point game at this point, because obviously she's the leading three-point shooter in the conference. So in my mind, we got to manufacture some ways to get her the ball.
And it's almost like she quietly gets that award because, like you said, she doesn't take the majority of the threes, but they're all good shots. No ill-advised shots from her. And not so much this game, and maybe it's because of the defensive matchup from Lindsey Wilson, but a lot of the time, Bailey Cummins is prolific driving to the basket, stepping back.
And she does a great job with that, too.
Multi-dimensional player in Bailey Cummins, a junior this year. And so now it is an 11-point Shawnee State lead here at home, and the Blue Raiders of Lindsey Wilson eyeing this lead. Janaea Harris outside for the Blue Raiders on the perimeter. This is Reagan working it down to Stiles down low. Stiles against Hannah Miller, and the ball goes in and out. Hannah Miller tried to get the rebound, and they say it is off her hand. And
yeah, she tried to convince the ref that it was off the Raiders.
And so now it'll be a timeout on the floor. 72-61 the score. Less than 5 minutes to play here in the Cave.
Okay, and let's get a break here.
Begin the next step of your life at Ohio Christian University, one of the nation's fastest growing nonprofit universities. Earn an accredited associate, bachelor, or master's degree entirely online, or attend class once a week at one of 11 convenient locations. Programs range from business and human services to IT and RN to BSN and more. Call today, 855-OCU-GRAD, or on the web at enroll.ohiochristian.edu.
So, Alec, let me ask you, from a philosophy standpoint, this part of the game, do you try to set some things up, some good half-court plays, some solid possibilities to score, or do you still try to push it back, up and down the floor, which has been the Bears' strong point? You know this team well. How do you see that? What do you think they should do at this point?
Coming down the stretch with a lead like this, I think you nailed it on your first point. These girls are getting tired, and we've already seen that. They're not as efficient in transition. So I say they will try and incorporate some new players into the rotation, as well as just setting up good plays and getting good shots. Maybe not as many three-pointers and not as fast.
Right.
But like you said, just setting up good plays, kind of chewing the clock a little bit, and just playing fundamental basketball here for the next 5 minutes.
And I think that's what Coach Nickel was probably saying, is that let's get the high percentage shots and let's not get too sloppy here down this stretch.
Yeah, there's no reason to force anything. The Blue Raiders are clawing back a little bit. Down by just 9 now. Bailey Cummins on the right side wing, works it to Lovely. Lovely driving from the elbow, goes up, gets the foul, and the bucket doesn't go.
Tried to scoop on the way to the hoop.
That foul called on Kayla Stiles. But they're not a shooting foul, though. It's just a blocking foul on the floor. She was not.
That one's not a shooting foul, but yet the one down here. Well.
Been a little confusing with the calls, but Shania Massey opened from 3. A good decision not to take the shot, as she's been cold from there. Hannah Miller, though, driving against Turner. Miller frees herself up, goes up for the hoop, no good. Rebounded by Paula Skeeta, but then it was knocked away by Rideout, and Shawnee State would have had the ball, but they call a foul on Hannah Miller.
Hannah Miller, boy, I don't know about that one. I thought
she might have poked it away.
I was just say Rideout was the one to end up with the ball there. I thought she was the one that pulled it away. But
after the foul, it'll be Lindsey Wilson back in possession of it. They are down just 9 with 4:15 left on the clock in this game from the Cave. Number 4, Shawnee State versus number 12, Blue Raiders. Been all Shawnee State. Blue Raiders showing some life here late in the game, and a block from Bailey Cummins.
Bailey Cummins.
Wow. And a block from her, but I think it last touched the Lindsey Wilson player, so it will go back to Shawnee State.
Yeah, I think it came right down the front of her when she blocked it. Nice job.
And Bailey Cummins, just 5'8". She's a guard, kind of a smaller player, but already with 3 blocks in this game.
Got some good springs in the legs.
Massey from the corner, no good. Once again, Massey off the mark. And there would be a foul on the floor, I believe, called on Shania Massey as she drove to get her own rebound. And I think you nailed it when you said that Shania Massey's kind of in her head now.
She's struggling right now.
She's missed some shots, and looking at Coach on the sidelines, is it my time to go yet?
Yeah, I think you might see a substitution there if she continues to flounder like that.
So Janaea Harris and the Blue Raiders back in action. Reagan Turner looking to take advantage of this cold streak from Shawnee State. Finds a driving Janaea Harris. Goes up against Rideout. Gets the bucket. Good defense from Rideout. Better offense.
7-point lead, Alec.
7-point lead. As Bill said, Shawnee State, the deficit shrinking for them. Or for Lindsey Wilson, rather. This is Cummins on the outside. Need to set up some plays. Finds right out on the corner, back to Cummins. Lindsey Wilson playing much better defense now. Right out looking for the pass, finds Ashton Lovely on the elbow. Lovely driving the lane, goes up, and her shot was blocked, and she was fouled. And she will go to the line for 2, and it seems like every time she
hard
hits,
on her knee, too, there, I believe.
every time she hits the floor, it's scary for everyone. It seems like she always hits the deck so hard.
Well, she goes so hard to the hoop that, I mean, there's going to be contact, and she's absorbing as much as she's issuing on that.
Drawing a lot of fouls.
Yep.
So Ashton Lovely will look to get 2 here from the line as her first shot is up and no good. I'm kind of frustrated. I'm surprised we haven't worked in some of the younger players, and I think maybe Jeff Nichols realizing the deficit's shrinking here. We need to keep the marquee ladies out there, but maybe need to work in some fresh legs. Lakin Smith there on the bench as well as Hagen Schaefer.
Yeah.
As Ashton Lovely gets the second one to fall.
And, you know, as we had talked about Shania Massey, maybe she needed a minute just to sit down and collect herself, because just looking at her face, you can see like she's stressed out right now.
Yeah, stressed and tired.
Yeah.
You play at this pace all game, then you start to get worried. A team makes a run like this, and they're down just 8 after being down almost 20 when we started the second half. As Kayla Stiles' drive goes up and gets the hoop, and that's a great play by Kayla Stiles.
But who else? I mean, Kayla Stiles has half the points tonight for, or nearly half the points for the Raiders.
Stiles now with 29 points. This is Bailey Cummins up top for the Bears. Outside, Hannah Miller. Madison right out in the corner, works it back up top to Bailey Cummins. 13 on the shot clock. Ashton Lovely, a long 3 from outside. Out.
Oh,
no
nice.
Good. Rebounded by Shania Massey, and a little bunny from mid-range by Bailey Cummins, and that's the shot I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She can just get just an inch of space, put it up with that one hand, and it's good almost every time.
And we talked about it about the 5-minute mark, is we needed to figure out a way to get her near the basket to get some points, and, you know, get that force field off the top of that thing so that they could start dropping some baskets through there, and she did just that.
And Bailey Cummins, not the most prolific stat line in every game, but what you got to look at is she's taking good shots. I mean, almost every game it's 13 of 16, or, you know, it's 8 of 10. Yes, it's a lot of those. I'm open, I'm going to take the shot, but she's a pass-first kind of girl. But when you're pass-first, but you can take the shots when you need to, that's really important, and that's what they need in a leader.
You know, and how many times did we see in the first half? Ball came down, wasn't rebounded, and who was there but Bailey Cummins picks it up off the ground, pops it in for 2.
Yeah, her and Hannah Miller really hustle to the basketball,
Yes.
and they win the Hustle Points Award for Shawnee State. Shania Massey staying in the game for the Bears. They'll go with the same look. Jeff Nickel talking to the girls out on the floor, and the whistle blows to get out of the timeout. Shawnee State now with an 8-point lead, 75-67 against the number 12 ranked Lindsey Wilson Blue Raiders. 2:17 left to play in the game. The Cave pretty loud here as Lindsey Wilson looks to continue their run. Reagan Turner outside off the screen from Stiles. Works it down to Stiles down low. And then she will draw the offensive foul as Kayla Stiles came down, and almost a flop from Madison Rideout.
Oh, my goodness. Talk about a flop. But, hey, you know what? It worked.
That's discipline right there.
It was.
Madison Rideout recognizing that she had the position to draw the foul. Falls as soon as Kayla Stiles comes down off of her jump. And now Kayla Stiles looking at a little bit of foul trouble here with 4 fouls for her.
I tell you what, Madison Rideout might want to be going to the Academy Awards.
I was
going to
say, I'm going to give her an Oscar.
Yeah, I would, no doubt about it.
And Shania Massey working it to Rideout from the charity stripe. Mid-range bucket gets to go, and Shawnee State right back at it. 10-point lead with less than 2 minutes to play.
Now, Shawnee State should be looking to defend the perimeter, because the only way they're getting back into this now is they're going to have to start hitting some threes.
Reagan Turner finding Stiles down low. Stiles working down low once again. The shot is off. Almost rebounded by Shawnee State, but knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Lindsey Wilson.
Nice position by Shawnee State there. Even though they didn't get it, they didn't give up an easy basket there.
As this game draws near to a close, as the inbound is, oh my goodness, and that was just an aggressive play by Ashton Lovely getting to the ball. Almost took away the inbound pass, but she draws the foul.
She's going to need
picks up the foul, rather.
She's going to need an ice bath after this game with all the bumps and bruises she's picking up.
And that's just the way she plays, and she always scares me. I hate watching it, but she's a pleasure to watch, and you're always like, ugh. Yeah, she's always hitting the deck.
She kind of bounced on the ground there and holds her elbow. So You just pray she walks away there.
It looked like she banged up her elbow a little bit. Not the greatest pace from Ashton Lovely as she awaits a couple of Kayla Stiles free throws. First one up and good.
See, Kayla Stiles, that's her, is that her 30th?
Yep, she just broke 30.
Yep.
30 points for Kayla Stiles, doing all she can to bring the Blue Raiders back into this game as she hits her second free throw. So, yeah, double-double for her, 30 and 12. She's also got 3 assists, but those 4 fouls lurking at Kayla Stiles. She's got to be careful. Shawnee State now up 8, passing it around the perimeter. Hannah Miller in the corner to Shania Massey. Tried to work the ball at Ashton Lovely, who was fouled by Janaea Harris.
And, I was just going to say, they're going to get to the point where they're going to have to start fouling because they're just still not close enough to say, hey, we can sit back and just play defense and hope that they miss the shots.
77-69, a minute 20 left to play here in the Cave. Immediately following this game, we will have the men of Shawnee State and Lindsey Wilson going at it in another Mid-South Conference matchup. And as Ashton Lovely nails both of her free throws and now extends the lead back to 10 for the Bears. This game.
Now it's a 4-basket game, so now a little breathing room for Shawnee State.
Janaea Harris working around the perimeter.
Yeah, they're picking up the perimeter high.
Reagan Turner, though, quickly driving to the basket, just a little too hard off the glass, doesn't get it to go. Kayla Stiles cleans it up and gets 2. 8-point lead for Shawnee State, less than a minute. They'll dribble it out. Down to the shot clock and try to get a shot off. Controlling the ball here as Kayla Stiles picks off the pass but then loses the ball. And Shawnee State right back with it in their hands.
Yeah.
Hannah Miller's wide open outside, does not take the shot.
You get it to Bailey.
Bailey up top will hold the ball for a second. 38 left, 19 on the shot clock.
And now it's going to get to that point. They're going to have to start fouling.
Ashton Lovely.
And it does not look like that's what they're going to choose to do.
I think they'll just take it here as Ashton Lovely drives to the basket and draws the foul once again.
Down to the ground again. Ashton has taken some bumps and bruises tonight.
She will go to the line once again, and when Lindsey Wilson eventually gets the ball back, they will not have a shot clock. Less than 25 seconds left to play. Ashton Lovely's first free throw is up and off the back iron. Lovely with 24 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. Good stat line for her.
Yep.
The second free throw is also off the mark, rebounded by the Raiders. Down the court, pass is poked out of bounds by Bailey Cummins. So it'll stay with the Blue Raiders, but Shawnee State not laying down. They got a comfortable lead, but they're still fighting.
Yep.
Every possession. This same group of 5 has been in for, it seems like, the whole fourth quarter.
Yeah, I think they have. It's been a long stretch for them. And, this is part of getting your team in shape and putting them in these situations. So I think that's what Coach Nichols is looking at. He says, hey, they're going to fight through. They're going to win this thing.
And the clock running down past 10 seconds. Shawnee State will take this one at home. As we wait the buzzer, the crowd goes wild. Shawnee State an 8-point win against the 12-ranked Lindsey Wilson Blue Raiders. 79-71 is your final score. Shawnee State leading scorer Ashton Lovely with 24 and 4 assists. Behind her, Hannah Miller with 16 and 8 rebounds. Madison Rideout with a double-double at 14 and 10 rebounds. Bailey Cummins 2 rebounds away from a double-double at 14 and 8. For a total of 79 points for the Bears. For Lindsey Wilson, they will not. They lose this game and move to 13 and 3 on the season. 1-1 in Mid-South Conference play. As Shawnee State takes this one after a decent run there towards the end by Kayla Stiles and the Blue Raiders. But Shawnee State able to pull it out and win this one by 8 after at one point being up by 20 points. Leading scorer for the Blue Raiders, can't say enough about Kayla Stiles. A double-double with 33 points, 3 assists, and 13 rebounds. Like I said, a double-double for her. Behind her was Reagan Turner with 13. And we've mic'd up head coach Jeff Nickel. Coach, congratulations on the win, taking on the number 12 team in the country and winning by 8. Now moving to 15 and 3 on the season. Coach, initial thoughts?
It was a great game. I thought you got to give Lindsey Wilson a lot of credit. They played with a lot of grit in the second half. We got up by as many as 25 with about halfway to go, and man, they made a game out of it. They switched to a 1-2-2 zone, and our guys got a little bit stagnant with it. And I felt like the biggest thing that they did was they just went to war on the offensive boards. We ended up with 14 of them. They ended up with 14 of them. We negated some of that. And, they've got, in my opinion, probably the best player in the country, Kayla Stiles. The Turner kid, a freshman, did a really good job for them. But I'm really proud of my kids. Ashton Lovey, great performance. Hannah Miller, Madison Rideout. Bailey Cummings, what can you say? I mean, they're just great kids. They play hard. Got great minutes out of Leah Wingeier in her first start ever. And, it's nice to have Lydia Poe back. A little bit of rust for her, not playing in a month, but it's going to be good to get her back because, she's a 10, 15-point-a-game player tonight.
Yeah, and it seems like that last group of 5 they had on the court there played almost the whole fourth quarter. Is that kind of conditioning, getting ready for play down the stretch?
Yeah, we run, we get out and go, and that's how we play. Ash wasn't able to get her three-point ball to fall tonight, but she was able to do other things. But, we get out and go. That's how we play, so we're kind of accustomed to playing that way. And I felt like that was beneficial towards us down the end. And I think they went to that zone a little bit because they got a little tired and were trying to get some stops. And, we ended up missing some easy shots. He had some good looks at three, and they just didn't go in.
A lot of hustle plays, a lot of bodies hitting the floor tonight, and loose ball rebounding. A lot of hustle from your team, especially Hannah Miller and Madison Rideout, always fighting for a loose ball. And I know that's really important in your coaching style, always hustling and swarming to the ball. It almost seems like there was never an easy board for them.
No, and they're a great rebounding team. And I look at us, and we're a little undersized. We had a lot of fight. I mean, I think they got a few that I would have preferred that they not get, and I think that was just an inability to block out and get with it. But, you got some people that are really physical and running in there and really getting some bodies on people. And we were able to get some boards down the stretch and get some stops, and I'm really proud of our kids. This is a big win for us. This is a team that can win the Mid-South, Lindsey Wilson. And, I think that we got another big one coming with Cumberland, but I'm just happy with how we played. I mean, 39 boards, we negated their rebounding advantage. And, they got some big kids inside. The Paul Scott kid, 6'3", can block some shots. And, we did a good job on her. She only had 3 blocks, kind of kept her below her average. And that was the only 3 blocks they had. And I felt like we did a really good job in man. We got a little bit of work to do in zone. And we got some teams like Campbellsville and people coming up to play some zone. Cumberland, Tennessee, play some 1-2-2 zone. So we got stuff we got to work on. But I like where we're at, moving 15-3, and I think we're doing a good job. Only 9 turnovers tonight to 13 assists, so I'm really happy with that.
Yep, and congratulations on the win. Once again, Coach, moving to 15-3 on the season. They will see Cumberland University from Tennessee on Saturday. Coach, we look forward to seeing you then.
All right, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we will be back with you shortly as the Lindsey Wilson Blue Raider, the men's side, will take on the men's of Shawnee State.
Okay. Well, Alex, we're going to get a station ID here, and then we will get ready for the men's game here.
.9 WZAA LP, Jeffersonville.
Begin the next step of your life at Ohio Christian University, one of the nation's fastest-growing nonprofit universities. Earn an accredited associate, bachelor, or master's degree entirely online, or attend class once a week at one of 11 convenient locations. Programs range from business and human services to IT and RN to BSN and more. Call today, 855-OCU-GRAD, or on the web at enroll.ohiochristian.edu.